A lot of people are going to say they hate Tron Ares, and, that's just like your opinion, man. Hello, interwebs. I hope you are all doing well because I am here to review the latest Tron movie, Tron Ares. I think as with everybody, I went into this movie with very mixed feelings. I am a really big fan of the Tron franchise. I mean, quite literally, I have a lot of Tron memorabilia. I got a Tron VHS hidden somewhere. I got these light cycle toys and all of that jazz. And I mean, if you've seen my movie Identities that I made over on Nebula, a lot of that is very clearly inspired by something like Tron, as well as stuff like The Matrix or one of my favorite movies of all time, Hackers, which, by the way, if you like the Tron movies and have not seen Hackers is everything that the missed potential of all the Tron movies is. Just go watch Hackers. Hack the planet. It fucking rules. It whips. I adore that movie to death. It's a bunch of weird queer anarchists and they're the heroes of the film. But regardless, Tron movies themselves, I've always really enjoyed. I think they're films that never really ever fully live up to the potential, but they have a lot of really cool ideas that I adore. The original 80s movie is a visual feast, especially for the time. It's very slow paced though, but it's got some really cool ideas about creator created and using the then new frontier of this digital landscape to have these conversations about God and what is our purpose and how do we break our programming. And then Tron Legacy kind of took those ideas and was very clearly Disney trying to make its own Star Wars before they had officially bought Star Wars. But you could tell that they were, at least the movie was trying to do something, to say something. And it was very clearly this techno-fascist metaphor, and then also trying to have a queer metaphor with a bunch of white people and very Hollywood pretty people. So, you could have gone further with it, but there was style, there was pizzazz, there was something kind of interesting there that I'm okay, this doesn't fully get to where I want it to be, but the Daft Punk of it all, there's passion here clearly on screen that makes it engaging and interesting to watch, and the ideas that it explores are interesting even if it doesn't really fully live up to their potential. So I love both of those movies. So when I heard they were gonna make a third Tron movie, I was okay, maybe this will be another bat of the wheel and we'll see something interesting happen here. But then the monkey paw curled and I learned Jared Leto is going to be the star of it. And I think everyone kind of had that reaction of a new Tron movie, that could be interesting. Oh no, Jared Leto, what cursed object did I wish upon here to get this? So I went into this movie being all right, what are we getting ourselves into here? I like the Tron movies. I want to see something interesting with them, but also the Jared Leto of it all. But also, clearly they must have had some reason to come back to this franchise, Disney, if they're coming back to it after all this time. Someone must have had some passion into it. But the thing that I can really say coming out of this film is that it's just completely forgettable. And I don't say that as this is a bad movie or this is a trash movie. Ultimately, Tron Ares is fine. I knew I wanted to talk about the movie. I was planning on doing this review, but coming out of it, I'm I don't really have anything, any huge emotions coming out of this film. It's just a movie that exists. And what this movie desperately, desperately needed was just someone who seemed to have passion and excitement for it. And no one here is putting in a bad job. Everyone's fine. Even Jared Leto, despite being an actual creep IRL, is fine in this movie. But everyone just seems they're people showing up for work, doing their job, but not really all that engaged. This movie just needed a Michael Sheen from Tron Legacy. He knew the assignment with his role. He was just having a ball with it. Just someone who was excited to be here. But everyone just seems to be doing fine. Even the music by Nine Inch Nails. And I'm when I heard Nine Inch Nails was doing music, I'm okay, that's fine. I could see Nine Inch Nails doing something interesting here. But even the music here seems kind of subdued and just kind of there. Again, it's not bad. It's certainly more interesting than some scores. It's got its own unique identity. But it never rises above in the way that like the Daft Punk score in Legacy did, where it's like, okay, yeah, this is here, and I like its vibe, but there's nothing I can put my finger on that's particularly memorable about any of it. I'm kind of just talking about vibes here, like, and I guess that's the hard thing to talk about this with, is that it really is just like, if this was not a Tron movie, I frankly don't know what I could really say about it. I mean, we have a bunch of, let me talk about some specifics here. You have Evan Peters as the villain. He's the grandson of the guy from the first movie, and the Dillinger. And then obviously you also have Gillian Anderson playing his mom and the daughter of the villain of Ed Dillinger from the first film. And both of them, again, just show up and are fine. And what I really, again, I desperately wanted, like, Evan Peters to, like, go the extra mile and, like, kind of be chaotic and, like, just be a chaotic, evil guy, and have his mother, Jillian, just kind of being, like, the calm, neutral force and being like, hey, calm down. And him just being like, nah, I want to rule the world. Like, just some, like, tech bro, like, what, honest to God, he needed to kind of be, what a weird comparison I'm about to make, but he kind of needed to be Lex Luthor from the Zack Snyder movies. Like, Lex Luthor in those movies was bad, but here I feel like that kind of performance would have actually kind of worked. It would have been like something engaging and interesting that you like went for here. But as it stands, he's just like, he's not even like that petulant. Like, his mom is like slapping him around being like, you're a disappointment as a son, sort of like that kind of dynamic. But even then he's not even that despicable. You know what I mean? Like, he does this thing of like, again, I'm going to go full spoilers here, but you kind of know what the plot of this is like he orders Ares around, played by Jared Leto, and like, obviously Jared Leto starts to develop his own personality and wants to break his programming, and, Evan Peters is kind of a dick to him and is like, I don't care about you, just do what you're programmed for, and get me the MacGuffin that I want. And so like that's the beats, but again, it's functional, but I just wanted like a little bit more from Evan Peters to be like a little bit more sinister, a little bit more over the top, a little bit crueler, just to make this engaging or interesting in any way. And again, it's functional here, but he's just there. He's just there. And even Jared Leto, like, again, creep IRL, but he's giving a fine performance here, and he's mainly stuck up against Greta Lee, who is the new CEO of Encom, the company that Kevin Flynn, Jeff Bridges, a character from the first movie, founded. We don't even get Sam Flynn back as like a continuation, or Olivia Wilde back as a continuation of Legacy. And so she's just kind of a new character, and like they're kind of paired together, and there's some undercurrent of like some romantic stuff between the two of them, which, like, gross. I don't see any romantic chemistry with Jared Leto for anybody. But like, again, even that's just kind of by the book fine. And you get like, again, it's not so terrible that you're like, oh, I don't see anything here as like why he would care. Like, they're both engaging enough that you buy it enough. And there's like enough of like, oh yeah, that's there's a little bit of like some friendship forming here, but it like goes by so quickly. And you have these like moments of like, again, by the book stuff with Jared Leto, with Ares, where you see like, oh, I'm developing personality. And he has this love of Deepak Mode, this band from the 80s. And, he says, I can't really describe my feelings for this band. It's just a feeling. I can't just nail it down. It's like, oh, he's developing humanity, this like ineffable sense of personality, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's interesting, but it's just there. It's by the book. There's nothing that makes it special or interesting. It's like, again, fine, I can see the beats that this hit in the script, but it's just there. And the only thing that I can even really say about this movie that I'm like, okay, that was really cool. And again, if you saw the trailers, they spoiled this in the trailers. It shouldn't have been, but I think Jeff Bridges kind of went AWOL and kind of spoiled it for everybody, so they put him in the marketing. But like, we go into the original grid from Tron, and that's actually kind of interesting. They did a really good job with the visuals of that. I mean, it looks like the original Tron visuals, but, in HD, in for the modern day. And it looks really good. I think that's the only thing in this movie that I was like, that looks interesting, unique, but it is just nostalgia. Like, even the modern day visuals on Tron Legacy are basically doing the same thing as Legacy, just kind of in the real world. But even that's like not too interesting. Again, this is me being a Hackers fan. If you ever seen the movie Hackers, like what the movie Hackers has such visual style. But one of the cool things that it does is it very directly visually compares, the world of the computer. Not that it's not like the Hackers movies isn't like a Tron movie, but like there's some visual comparisons of like the interior world of the computer with our modern day buildings and city planning, and how we're all just like gridded out, and like that's talking about like systems of control and capitalism and that sort of thing, which I thought was a very interesting visual comparison. So like it feels like you should have done something like that with this Tron Ares movie, of like being like, oh, we're going into the real world now, we're exploring that idea more. Like, what's the like visual parallel between the grid of the digital world and like what's going on here with the corporations and company here. But obviously this is a movie made by Disney, so it's not going to be too critical of big corporations. We have an evil corporation, the Dillinger one, but obviously we have Encom, which is the good corporation run by good people, the right kind of CEO. Which again, fine. Like I don't agree with that ethos. Again, go watch Hackers, which is much more fuck the man, fuck capitalism as a vibe. Again, just go watch Hackers. It's just the rule of thumb here. But again, I don't expect Disney of all people to go much further than that. But it's like, all right, if you're gonna bring this in the real world, what is it saying? What is it doing that's visually distinct? And again, none of it really feels that way. It's not bad looking. It's shot competently, and I think that's the biggest word I can say about this whole movie is it's competent, but not memorable. But it's like there's no visual parallel or like doing anything interesting with the fact that we are in the real world. It's just Tron stuff in a cityscape now, rather than anything else. Like, which the grid kind of already is a cityscape, but looks cooler. So it's like, it's not even as cool as Tron Legacy in the sense that like Tron Legacy was in a cool setting. Here we're just in the average world with cool stuff, but that's just in and of itself less visually interesting. Like, I wanted them to be like doing shit over the ocean or in the forest or like in winter, like in cold areas, like, and they go to some of those biomes here, but they don't do any of the cool visuals there. They just all do it mostly in the city. And I'm like, what a complete missed opportunity. Again, competent, but not interesting. You're just kind of doing the same Tron shit in a place that's visually reminiscent of the grid, but less interesting than the grid because it's the everyday world. So even that's kind of dull. Jeff, so again, going back, like the grid, the 80s grid, again, there's this 80s nostalgia stuff here, which, I'm done with nostalgia. I mean, like... Let me put it this way. I've talked about this in other things, but like I am not inherently against nostalgia in like bits and spurts. Nostalgia isn't necessarily a bad thing in and of itself. But two things: our culture is just saturated with nostalgia, and it's constantly saying like, "Hey, look back to the past. Isn't that better? We should go back there." Trying to mine things from the past without adding anything new. And what I will say about this movie is, while the original grid is cool, and we do have Ares, the character, constantly saying, I love the 80s, the movie doesn't even feel like that nostalgic either, other than like it just being a Tron movie. It doesn't even overstay its welcome in the grid. It's like, okay, that's cool, and then we get out of there fairly quickly. Cool. Like, it doesn't even offend me in like a cynical way. Which is what's wild to me, because like in other movies of like even like the tons of Disney remakes that we've gotten recently, like with Lilo and Stitch or things like that, like you see, like people may like those movies, but you can see the cynicism behind those films of like, oh my god, they're just remaking these things, or like other movies are just like milking a property. But here, even in Tron Ares, it's not even like, I don't even sense like that much cynicism here. Like, I don't see, there's not like a shit ton of overt callbacks of like them just saying shit from the other movies. Like, it's not like, in that like Alien Romulus way of like you're groaning because they reference like that "get away from her, you bitch" moment. Like, there's not even any like groan-worthy, cynical nostalgia callbacks here in a way that's like, oh my god, why are we doing this? It's like the right level of nostalgia. You got a cool looking visuals. They made it look really nice. You got, Jeff Bridges back for a little cameo, and then he's gone. And then we go on with the rest of the movie. Cool. It's like even the perfect amount of like corporate cynicism and nostalgia in a way that's like non-offensive to me. Like that's what's wild about this. I know I'm saying this, but like this movie is just inoffensive and forgettable. And I just sit here being like, why? Like no one here seems to have any passion for this, but no one here seems to be cynical either. It's just here. And in a way that's like, I'm not offended, but I'm not excited. You're just a movie. You are just product. But even not even in a cynical way. Like I think of everything. I think that's what kind of shocks me about this movie. It's just here. It's just here. And I guess what I do kind of hope from it is that, maybe this movie will do well. Like Projection seems to be doing about equivalent with Legacy, maybe even a little bit better than Legacy. And I hope like maybe, this revives the franchise enough that you can get something like Tron Uprising, which if you haven't seen Tron Uprising is a really great Disney Plus show. Like the best thing that came out of Tron was at least in terms of storytelling media, or not storytelling media, but like visual passive media is Tron Uprising. Like go watch that show. It's really good. But also revitalizes interest in stuff like Bithell Games Tron games. If you don't know, there's some really good games made by Bithell Games. Who Mike Bithell specifically, if you know him, really cool guy, a really cool developer, and his games like Tron Identity are really good. You should go check them out and actually explore the ideas of the Tron world in really cool ways, and actually develop the queer metaphors and capitalism metaphors there, like legitimately like really fun games. Go check them out. They're very short and easy to play and like got some interesting cool philosophy and ideas going on there. So I hope like this movie revitalizes interest in those things, and then also will maybe like revitalize the franchise enough that we'll get like a movie made by someone who actually has like passion for it and seems interested in it. And I'm not even saying no one in this movie had any passion for it, but like it's not on screen. But again, it's not taking it away from anything. So at the end of the day, it's like, it's an inoffensive way to spend 2 hours, but it's not really one that you'll remember too much at all. And the only thing I can say that came out of it is I'm glad people got a paycheck, except for Jared Leto. Wish he didn't get one because he's a creep. That's the one really big negative about this. But hopefully, we will be able to get more Tron movies, hopefully without Jared Leto in them. I mean, the movie ends in a way that like you don't need Jared Leto anymore either. But yeah, hopefully you can do that. The only other thing that I would say too is, the only thing that like, I'm not offended by this, but it's one of those like, we're doing that stereotype. I mean, it's not my place to get offended by this, but the like sub villain of the movie is oh God, Ares, the actress. I'm like looking at the thing here. Jodie Turner-Smith. Jodie Turner-Smith is actually really fun as Ares for what she's doing her best with the thing. I actually wish her character had been switched with Jared Leto. Like if like she had played Ares and Jared Leto, if we have to have him in the movie, I mean, honestly, I wish we didn't, but if we have to have a movie, he should have played her part and she should have played his part. And I actually think that would have made a much more interesting movie and fit better, because otherwise we're kind of just doing the angry black woman villain thing, which again, I'm not offended. It's not my place to get offended, nor do I think the movie is that offensive with that like stereotype, but it's just sort of like, oh yeah, that's this. Yeah, fine. Again, it's inoffensive. But it's just sort of like, yeah, I guess we're doing that. Yeah. Movie that exists. Tron Ares. What did you think about it, though? I'd love to hear all your thoughts. Are you hopeful for more Tron movies or other media in the future, as I am? Maybe one day I'll hopefully get to direct it, though I would rather direct Hackers 2. That's my dream. I want to direct a Hackers 2. I want to work on Star Trek one day in any capacity, and I want to direct a Hackers 2 movie. That's my dream. I will make the most queer, anarchistic movie of all time with Hackers 2. Though, of course, me saying that will probably mean I don't get to, because corporate media hates that shit. But anyways, regardless, I hope y'all enjoy your weekend, and I hope y'all live long and prosper.